Today, we've got Paul Salcone with Northpointe Bank. And, there's a fantastic program out there right now for first-time buyers through Rhode Island Housing. And it's looking to end soon. So Paul wanted to kind of shed some light on that and give us some ideas what's happening and how to take advantage of this while it's here. Paul, welcome back.
Thank you, Amelia, for having me again today. As you had mentioned, yes, the Rhode Island Housing Program, most people have heard of it. If they haven't, then I'm going to tell you about it today. It is geared for first-time home buyers. The state of Rhode Island, it's a down payment assistance program. And I wanted to mention, like you said, it's going to be ending soon. We don't have a definitive end date, but we're hearing probably by the end of October. That's what we're hearing from people in Rhode Island Housing right now. And so I wanted to mention before it's totally gone for the year, people can take advantage of this. And this program, the most common, I guess, element of it is the $17,500 down payment assistance grant. It comes from the state. It is something where you do not have to pay back. They don't make you hold the mortgage for so many years. So it is a great opportunity. Typically what happens is it's for single family through 4-unit properties. And in general, it has similar guidelines to FHA, and just FHA is Federal Housing Authority. So typically you would put down 3.5% with an FHA loan. With this program, they're giving you that money to be used towards your down payment or closing cost or a combination thereof. And typically what the requirements are: one, again, first-time home buyer or basically have owned a house within 3 years. Secondly, they have to have a credit score of 660. It is a line in the sand. They told me 659 would not work. So 660 credit score. And there are also income limitations based on your household size. Typically, it's between 120 and 135,000. It's 1 to 2 people, it's about 120,000. 3 or more, it's a little over 130,000. So there are some income limits. But again, most people right now, first-time home buyers, fit in those buckets. And it's a great opportunity. The way it works is, you do get a property under contract, you actually have to register with Rhode Island Housing. So that's why it's important right now. If you're someone listening who wants to buy a home and you want to take advantage, you need to get, even if you have a house under contract, until we register it with Rhode Island Housing, that essentially puts your money aside. It guarantees your spot. So even if you have a house under contract as we speak, if you haven't had it registered yet, which we can do at Northpointe, that basically ensures that money will be going to you. And again, knowing it's ending probably in 4 to 6 weeks, give or take, it is something that is very timely right now.
So Paul, the limit on the price that they can purchase, is it around $740?
Yeah, essentially, it's it's the guidelines for a jumbo loan. It's and depending on what county, Rhode Island, it's more or less the same. It's in that low 700s. So most houses, and on multifamily, sometimes we can go a little bit higher, but in general, low 700s, which I would think would keep most people where they want to be for a first-time home buyer in general. And something else I want to mention. So I talked about the FHA Rhode Island Housing Program. There's also another component. It's basically a conventional Rhode Island Housing Program. So people always think it's an FHA, which we do have, but there's a component where you can treat this as a conventional loan, still get a down payment assistance. Now, you say, why is that important? Well, here's where it really helps, I think. Number one, if you're a property that's borderline FHA approved, Rhode Island Housing FHA has the same guidelines. But if you have a house where maybe it needs a little bit more work and conventional would work, but maybe not FHA, you can take advantage of this program, use the money for your 3% down of a conventional loan on a single family home, use it for your down payment / closing costs. But here's the real kicker here. If you're looking at multifamily homes, 2 to 4 unit properties, and you want to buy them, FHA, they have something called a self-sufficiency test. And that is basically something that comes up a lot now with prices being so high. So if the rents do not cover this, monthly payment, basically they take all the rents in the property and they multiply it by 75%. If that number ends up being more than what the mortgage will be, you're fine. If it's less, then it would fail. But with conventional, they don't have this particular little rule. So we can do conventional, multifamilies with 5% down, of which only 3% has to come from you. So essentially, the other 2% plus your closing costs can come from Rhode Island Housing. And it's a way to get conventional financing on a multifamily home with only 5% down, of which only 3% has to come from you. And that's a Rhode Island Housing Program as well.